There is a paradox that people who have come close to death often talk about. The most terrifying moment is sometimes not the moment they die. It is the moment they are pulled back. On an operating table, amid hurried footsteps and the panicked faces of the medical team, a man says he no longer feels pain. He does not need to breathe. He is no longer trapped inside a body that has endured far too much damage. He can see everything from a position he cannot explain.
I shot me out of my body. I saw the back side, not here, and I remember looking at him, and all of a sudden I saw his hand blow up.
Doctors running, equipment being rushed into the room, electrical shocks about to be delivered to his own chest. And while everyone else is fighting to bring him back to life, he feels something completely opposite to fear: peace. But then they bring him back, and at the exact moment his heart begins beating again, the pain truly begins.
But I died. Dr. Gill and Dr. Griffin were my doctors. They witnessed it. They brought me back.
That man was not a mystic living apart from the world. He was a Hollywood actor. And many years before he found himself on that operating table, he had taken on the appearance of one of the most sacred, controversial, and influential figures in human history, Jesus Christ. His name was Jim Caviezel. But this story does not begin with his death. It begins on the day he agreed to play a role that the director himself warned could destroy his entire career.
And he also says, I didn't come to bring peace into this world. I came like a sword to divide.
Before the Passion of the Christ, Jim Caviezel was at an age when an actor could believe that the best years of his career were still ahead of him. He had already made a name for himself. He had the looks of a leading man. He was standing at the threshold of bigger roles, more valuable contracts, and a stronger position in the film industry. Then Mel Gibson called him. It was not simply an invitation to audition. It sounded more like a warning. According to Caviezel, Gibson wanted him to understand that playing Jesus could cause Hollywood to see him in a completely different way. A role so heavily associated with religion could become a label he would never be able to remove. Sometimes, people are not tested by failure. They are tested by a question. Are you willing to give up a promising future in order to do what you believe is right? Caviezel hesitated, not only because he was afraid of losing his career, he also felt unworthy. No actor could ever be holy enough to become Jesus. No acting technique could fully recreate the pain, loneliness, and meaning of the cross. But that very feeling of unworthiness caused him to see the role differently. It was no longer an opportunity to prove his talent, it was a responsibility. You know, I kept my rosary with me. I prayed, I took the Eucharist every day, and I went to confession every day. Caviezel began preparing with more than scripts, makeup, or character research. He prepared through faith. He prayed. He went to confession. He attended Mass and meditated on the gospel passages he would soon reenact in front of the camera. This showed that he did not want to merely imitate the outward appearance of Jesus. He wanted to understand the state of mind of someone who willingly entered into suffering, even though he could have turned away. Then, a coincidence made Caviezel feel even more strongly that the role was calling him. When he accepted the role, Caviezel was 33 years old, the age traditionally associated in Christianity with Jesus at the time of the crucifixion. His initials were J.C. Jim Caviezel, Jesus Christ. To an outsider, it might have been nothing more than coincidence. But for a man standing between faith and fear, a coincidence arriving at precisely the right moment can sometimes become more powerful than any argument. Caviezel chose to move forward, and from that moment on, the role began demanding a price that no contract could fully describe. When the camera captured real pain, on screen, audiences saw a man being beaten, humiliated, and crucified. But behind the camera, Caviezel's own body was slowly breaking down. Outdoor scenes were filmed in brutally cold conditions. The heavy makeup made it difficult for him to stay warm. His body began shaking uncontrollably. During one scene, his shoulder was injured. In other scenes, he was accidentally struck by the whip. Props designed to create the illusion of pain sometimes caused real pain. Every day, the production recreated the execution of Jesus. And every day, Caviezel returned with his own body covered in injuries. But the cross was where every physical limit began to disappear. His arms were held in an extended position. His hands went numb. The cold penetrated deeply. his heartbeat became irregular. Caviezel was no longer simply acting like a man suspended between heaven and earth. He was trying to remain conscious while his body repeatedly warned him that it could not endure anymore. "'Cause I couldn't feel my hands anymore. My hands were numb at the end of the movie. My body is blue." The blue color of his body was not cinematic makeup. It was a sign of extreme cold and poor circulation. A doctor examined him and discovered that his heart had entered atrial fibrillation. The injuries he suffered were later believed to have contributed to the major heart surgeries he underwent in the years that followed. But the most terrifying accident had not yet happened. During one scene, lightning struck the area where Caviezel was standing. According to his account, the impact was so powerful that his consciousness seemed to be blasted out of his body. He saw the back of himself. A crew member ran toward him, and then sparks appeared to burst from the man's hand. No one begins making a movie believing that a single scene could become the dividing line between life and death. But in that moment, Caviezel was no longer standing on a film set. He was standing between the instinct to survive and a belief that compelled him to continue. An ordinary actor might have asked for the scene to be changed. An ordinary producer might have taken it as a sign that the production should be shut down. But Caviezel continued, not because he was unafraid, but because he believed the pain was serving something greater than himself. During the hours he spent suspended on the cross, he prayed for the people standing below. He prayed the rosary and meditated on each stage of the Passion. When he could no longer feel his hands, his mind became the only place he could still control. And in that state between consciousness and exhaustion, Caviezel says he heard a question, "Am I too close to you?" His answer was not the answer of someone looking for a way out of suffering. It was the answer of a man who had accepted that he might not come down from that cross on his own feet.
Just kept going, but I remember hearing Jesus say to me, "Am I too close?" And I said, "You're not close enough."
He did not ask for the pain to disappear. He asked the one he believed in to come even closer. And this was the point at which the role began transforming the actor. Caviezel was no longer merely trying to portray Jesus in front of a camera. He was confronting the question that the symbol of the cross has always placed before humanity. What are you willing to sacrifice for what you believe? The transformation, when fame was no longer the reward. Caviezel did not walk away from the movie with an unharmed body. And in his view, his career did not follow the path Hollywood usually offers an actor who has just appeared in a worldwide box office phenomenon. But the greatest thing he lost was not a professional opportunity. It was the illusion that success could protect a person from suffering. Before the role, Caviezel may have seen faith as one part of his personal life. After the role, it became the standard by which he measured everything else. Money, fame, family, beautiful possessions, public approval. He did not say that those things were inherently evil. What he opposed was a form of faith packaged as a formula for wealth, a belief system in which people came to God only to receive health, money, and a comfortable life. Because the cross does not promise that believers will never suffer. It only asks whether they will continue believing when every reward has been taken away.
We have to be above the status quo of this modern day Christianity crap, which I'm telling you, this prosperity gospel is shit.
But behind the anger was a warning. A faith that exists only when everything is going well may actually be nothing more than a transaction. I believe because I want to be rewarded. I pray because I want to be protected. I serve because I want life to treat me well. But what happens when prayer does not prevent illness? When faith does not save a career? When someone gives everything and is still misunderstood? That is when the true nature of faith is revealed. The things that I have in this life, my wife, my children, that family, that's a it with God to me. I love beautiful things. I love Lamborghini and all that. But hey, listen, if I have to give it back, fine, done, it's over. Caviezel did not deny his love for life. He was simply trying to put everything in its proper place. You may own a beautiful car, but the car must not own you. You may love your career, but your career must not become the God that determines your worth. You may treasure your family, but even the deepest love cannot protect a person from loss. Caviezel's transformation did not happen in one glorious moment. It happened through prolonged suffering. The injuries from filming continued to follow him. He underwent major heart surgeries, and during an operation in 2014, according to Caviezel, his heart stopped. But what he described did not sound like a nightmare. He said he saw people trying to save the body lying below him. He did not need to breathe. There was no pain, there was no panic.
And I was dead. I didn't have to breathe anymore. And I was looking at everybody running the room, and they were panicking. And
for Caviezel, that experience became personal evidence that death was not a wall. It was a doorway. Science may study near-death experiences through brain activity, anesthesia, biochemical reactions, and reconstructed memories. Faith may interpret them as moments when the soul separates from the body. But regardless of the explanation, the psychological effect remains the same. A person who has watched others fight to save his body will find it difficult to continue living as though he has unlimited time. When Caviezel returned, he did not return only to physical pain. He returned with a question, why am I still here? And according to him, the answer was not to become a bigger star. It was to warn people not to lose their souls while pursuing the gifts they had been given. The resolution, the playing cards with the faces of death. In another experience Caviezel described, he was lying in bed with his body freezing cold and one shoulder badly injured. The room was very warm. He was wearing layers of clothing, but his body was still shaking violently. Then he said he saw Jesus standing on the left side of his bed, not a majestic Jesus passing judgment, but a Jesus who was weeping. Caviezel said he went to him, embraced him, and asked why he was grieving. Jesus pointed toward the floor. There were playing cards scattered across it, kings, queens, and jacks. There were no numbered cards. Every face carried the image of death. Those cards represented people who had been given talent, opportunity, and influence. At first, they kept a small part for themselves and gave most of it to God. 1 for me, 9 for him. Then the balance began to change. 2 for me, 8 for him. In the end, everything belonged to the self. Nothing remained for the one who had given the gift. These people were giving incredible gifts all throughout time, and they started with 1 for me, 9 for God, 2 for me, 8 for God, and eventually 9 for me, 1 for God, and then all for me. This how the game works. This may have been the most terrifying part of the entire story. Not the lightning strike, not the moment his heart stopped, not the hours his body was suspended on the cross, but the gradual destruction of human beings by the very gifts that once made them special. No one wakes up one morning and decides to lose their soul. The process usually begins with something small. One compromise to preserve an opportunity. One moment of silence to protect a reputation. One decision to place the ego above the conscience. One excuse that says you deserve to receive more. Then, 1 part for me slowly becomes everything for me. That was the game Caviezel believed he had been warned about, because even the man who played Jesus could be consumed by the fame of that role. Even someone who preached sacrifice could turn sacrifice into a tool for building an image. Even faith itself could become a stage for the ego. And I knew that he was telling me when I asked him, I don't want them to see me. I only want them to see you. I believe he was warning me. Do you understand that where this could go? At the beginning of this story, a man saw his own body lying on an operating table. He no longer needed to breathe. He no longer felt pain. But when he returned, the pain came rushing back. Now we can understand why. Returning to life means returning to responsibility. Death may bring an end to the suffering of the body, but only life gives a person the opportunity to change the way he is living. Caviezel once answered that Jesus was still not close enough, but perhaps the closeness he was searching for was not found in a supernatural experience. Perhaps it was found in the ordinary choices of everyday life, protecting your conscience or selling it, using your talent or abusing it, serving something greater than yourself, or turning everything into a tool that serves your ego. The cross in this story was not merely a prop from a movie. It was a symbol of the price that every genuine belief eventually demands. Not everyone will be crucified. but everyone has something they must give up. How are you dividing your own cards? Now, forget Jim Caviezel for a moment. Look at yourself. You may not be facing a role that could cause Hollywood to turn its back on you. You may not be suspended on a cross in freezing weather. You may never have watched doctors struggle to restart your heart. But perhaps you are living through a similar game. At first, you say you are working for your family. Then your work leaves you with no time for your family. At first, you want success so you can be free. Then success itself turns you into a prisoner of other people's approval. At first, you use your talent to create value. Then you begin using people to protect your position. 1 for me, 9 for what I believe. Then 2 for me, 8 for what I believe. Until one day, you look back and realize that the only cards left on the table are the ones carrying your own face. Do not wait until you are lying on an operating table to ask why you are alive. Do not wait until you have lost everything to realize what truly belongs to you. Because the most terrifying question is not, how will you die? It is this: when every roll is over, every light has gone out, and no one is left to call your name, what in your life will still have value? If you enjoyed this video, leave a like, share your thoughts in the comments, and pass it along to someone else. Subscribe to the channel so you do not miss the next videos. May the peace of Christ always be with you.